Obama is in there, and I appreciate your call, sir, pushing it right now. Why don't you explain to folks what universal health care means? It means universal eugenics death care.
It does. You got to understand that Britain was one of the first countries, and Canada, to bring out socialized health care. Thompson was the guy who brought it out in Canada. He's up on Wikipedia right now because he was a top eugenicist who talked openly about culling off the unfit, the infirm, and useless eaters. He brought health care into Canada, socialized medicine. Where I live here, you can't get a doctor. You cannot get one. And what they prescribe in Canada for pretty well all problems is simply painkillers. Just go home. If you don't feel the pain, the disease can progress and get worse, and you'll die. That's basically what it is. It's cost effectiveness because socialized medicine comes under a government policy. Government policy is the key. And it's all to do with economics.
But meanwhile, the elites are going to get all the life extension technologies. That's why they called medicine a practice. They cold-bloodedly practice on us and then develop what works, keep the good stuff for themselves, nothing for us but death. Very cold-blooded. They believe that's why they're the scientific risen man or the illumined man, because they can cold-bloodedly slaughter us, see our pain, just like the first psychiatrist lobotomizing people with ice picks. What can you do?
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
All right, hurrying through your calls for Alan Watt. I'm Alex Jones, your host. We're live here Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 12 noon to 4 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, that's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific. 10 to 2 Mountain. We have a free podcast downloaded by over 150+ thousand people a day. If you go to Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, you can click on the free podcast and download it to your MP3 or iPod device. Listen how you want, when you want, where you want. And we're getting a lot of new AM and FM affiliates, a lot of new listeners on the internet. We're just exploding, and that is heartening. It's also a little bit scary, because there's a lot of black ops going on against us, a lot of people posing as us going around saying horrible, racist things on the web, a lot of people pulling other dirty tricks, and a lot of media coming after us, mainstream media coming after us. And that really is our badge of courage, the red badge of courage, as they say. I get so many emails going, you woke me up, but now I know your New World Order. So that's kind of how the COINTELPRO works as well. We're here just covering facts, information, data. You make what decisions you want from it. COINTELPRO spends all their time saying how everybody else are government agents. There's actually not that many government agents, as people would think. They're just there getting us all to fight with each other. Alan, I want to spend a few minutes on that, the dirty tricks you've been through, so we can try to get people to be aware of this and to stop spending their time ninnying and infighting. And to also not believe something when they hear your voice edited weird or changed. They do that to me as well. We were talking about it. Or when they see sites that look like yours but aren't yours, but don't list their URLs, that only helps them, which then link to white supremacist stuff. We've proven that the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center and other groups are tied in. In the case of Southern Poverty Law Center, running white supremacist groups. FBI doesn't just infiltrate white supremacists. They found them. They run them. Then they always try to act like they're the liberty movement, the freedom movement, so the media can then demonize us. Every time I have a big national reporter here, they ask me, do you like Hitler, Alex? And then I say, no, I think he's really kind of goofy. Oh, you do like him, don't you? Don't you? You know, so this is really something they're trying to put on us because they don't want us bringing everybody in together for liberty and freedom and awakening against the tyranny of the globalists. And so I'm really seeing them go after myself and you and a few other people. And then a lot of well-meaning people have kind of fallen in to the bashing one particular group or the other. And that's how they want us, is factionalized. Alan Watt.
Yeah, it's true. A good documentary was done on the white supremacist groups a long time ago by the BBC, where they showed you different police outfits raiding some of the headquarters where they were having meetings. And one famous one, they turned out 200 people from inside this meeting. And by the end of the night, they'd only kept a couple everyone else, it turned out, belonged to other departments of U.S. police organizations that were all infiltrating. In other words, the entire membership was made up almost of all government agents, trying to find the real ones. And the two that they arrested were just guys off the street that came in for a free coffee. So it's common knowledge that the white supremacist groups have been funded from the beginning by government agencies, because they're very handy to help smear people by association if they can do it. If they can't take you down by what you're saying, they have to do a character assassination upon you. And I've had videos up there, I've seen them, where people will take different words that you say, string them together, easy to do with a computer, and have you saying completely erroneous things altogether. But there is an organized effort out there, and a funded effort, I should say, too, to help defame. I've had fake sites go up that you'd almost swear were mine, and you had to go into them, take the links off them to find out who was behind it. And they went right to the usual thing, it's just the Jews, and it was anti-Semitic and so on. But for someone looking in, they would have thought it was genuine. And then so
I notice I'm attacked by the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law Center. The first person they attacked when Poplawski shot those cops was me. Within hours, they fed my name off his computer, thousands of sites, to attack me. And then it turned out that Poplawski didn't like me. It looks like it was being federally handled, just like Von Brunn. And so that's kind of creepy to know I'm the first guy they're trying to go after now. Then meanwhile, they have the white supremacists after me, because I won't play the Southern Poverty Law Center's game of making it racial politics. I'm trying to appeal to everybody. Big tent, waking up the mass. They're desperate to, at one level, have the Nazis say, I'm a Zionist agent, and at the other end have the Israeli ops and others attacking me, which shows these are jaws, top and bottom jaws on the same crocodile.
Absolutely. They work together. They've always worked together. There's no secret in that. One of the biggest cases in Canada, you probably remember Ernst Zundel.
Yes.
Ernst Zundel single-handedly managed to get what they wanted through in the court system, and that was the hate laws. But I could not figure out why on earth the Canadian government gave this man so much publicity. I mean, they could have said nothing and no one would have ever heard of him. And yet it was in all the national papers, ongoing right up to the Supreme Court, where I think he was allowed to stay in Canada for a while. But it came out in the Toronto Sun and the Star a couple of years after all of this, that his right-hand man in this white supremacist movement, surrounded by skinheads, his right-hand man was a guy called Grant Brislow, who was a member of CSIS, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, and he was also Jewish. They were all working together.
Listen, when I was at Bilderberg 2006, they had these hippie guys show up going, let's nuke the Bilderberg, let's nuke. And they had these big Royal Mounted Police types, the FBI types, 6'3", good shape, acting friendly. And I said, look, you're feds, aren't you, to some of the other guys. And some of them actually went, we're just doing our job, Alex, just checking things. And I was like, yeah, just doing your job, trying to provocateur. And I don't know how these cops live with themselves, because they set up a lot of people.
Yes, they do.
And I know they're circling me like a pack of sharks. And then they shoot their kids up with mercury, too.
Yeah.
They give them fluoride. I mean, you're killing your own kids. We're the good guys.
Yeah.
Why do you hate us so much? But I guess they don't like us because they like their petty power trip, and we're kind of raining on their delusion that they're the cops and they frame the bad guys, and that's how they get it done. What about the enforcer psychology? Go ahead.
Yeah, they're on a team. You see, they've literally militarized all police forces. They have done that for years. They use the same bonding techniques, super bonding techniques you get in the military, where they stand up for each other. They're outside of civvy street, as they call it, civilian street. They're special, and the brotherhood is all. That's all there is the brotherhood. You must preserve the brotherhood. And really, they can be kept in their own little paradigm, their little Plato's cave, where they themselves are kept dumb and stupid, but they still want to succeed as a brotherhood and do what they're told. They feel they're achieving something, even though they don't even comprehend what the real goals are. So that's true. The militarization of police is an old technique that's been brought up to full force now.
What does the elite think of us? What is their view of an Alan Watt and Alex Jones, somebody that sees with horror their operation and their plan. I mean, I certainly know they're trying to hurt us, trying to shut us down. Why don't they just kill us? We get that question a lot.
They would never want they don't want martyrs, number one. Martyrs are bad news for any movement. In fact, they generally get so many recruits into a movement once someone's killed.
That's why the CIA probably killed, they're now saying, that Iranian girl, Nada, she's their cause celeb. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And apart from that, to be honest with you, I think they're so arrogant right now because they do with the Internet. They've got a daily, they take the daily pulse of the public. They know what they're chatting about in their text messages and so on. They know what their conversations are. It's all from TV and entertainment and so on, or major stories put in the paper for them to talk about. They're not really worried, to be honest with you, I think, in their arrogance about the masses.